Today we are going to be learning about the area and perimeter on a coordinate plane. So the perimeter is the distance around an object. So this object we have off to the side as shape is going to be the black perimeter here, and you're going to add up all the lengths of the sides. That's your perimeter. The area is the space inside. So with this figure here, the area is going to be everything on the inside. The blue area here, the blue contents. So let's look at an example. We have this figure here, this shape. This is an irregular shape, so we cannot name it, but we're going to find the perimeter. So we are going to find it based on the unit here, which is going to be each space. So this length here, you go from edge to edge, is 4. We can count it. Down here we can count it as well. We have 1, 2, 3. And then this length here, we have a 1. Now, these diagonal lines, we cannot count it. So we're going to have to go back on our previous lesson that we learned to find the distance of 2 points on a coordinate plane. So if we change this into a triangle and find the length of each side here. This side's 1 and this side is 3. We need to find this distance here. So if you remember, I'm going to say this is our first one. So if you remember, to find that distance, we're going to take the square root of rise over run. Let's write it up here. Square root, rise, and run. So we have to take rise and square it, and then add it to our run squared, and then take the square root of it. So our rise, how far up or down are we going here, is 3. We're going to square it and add it to our 1 squared. So 3 squared is 9, plus 1. So we're going to be finding the square root of 10. So using your calculator, you're going to find the square root of 10. And the square root of 10, if we round it, is 3.2. So our length here is 3.2. Now let's find this triangle and find that length of that side. So how far down and how far over. So this is going to be our second one we're doing. So we're going to take the square root of our rise. We're going down 1 and add it to how far we're going over squared. 1 squared is 1, plus 1 gives us 2. We're going to find the square root of 2. Using our calculator, we're going to type in the square root of 2. And rounding it, it gives us 1.4. This length here is going to be the same thing. So we can write 1.4 for that length. This length is 1.4. since it's the same. And then this lovely length is going to be the same length that we found here, 3.2. So to find the perimeter, we're just going to add up all of our sides. So we're going to add up 4, 3.2, 1, 1.4, 3, 1.4, and 3.2. Add it. So 4, 8, 10, 12, carry the 1, bring down the decimal, 5, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 17. So perimeter is 17.2. Now we need to find the area. The area on this is going to be a little tricky, so it's going to be just our estimated area. So let's use blue for this one. So we want to count how many whole blocks we have first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 whole blocks. Now we need to match up to figure out which of our leftover boxes would make a full box. So this is half, and then do we have any other halves? Right here. So this one and this one make a whole. That's another one. Let's see here. This box here and this little one here can make a whole. So that's another one. Let's bring this down. This one and this one make a whole. And then we can combine these two and say they make a whole. Remember, it's an estimation, so we're estimating. Does not have to be exact. So let's add this up. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if we add it together, we get a 15 for our estimated area. Let's look at example 2. So let's count the sides for our perimeter that we can without having to do any math. So this has a length of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This has a length of 2. This has a length of 3. And this has a length of 4. So we need to find this length and this length. So how far over and down are we going to find our side lengths? 2 here and 3. So we have to find this length here. We're going to call this 1. So again, we're going to be finding the distance of that length. So we have to use the square root of rise squared plus run squared. So the square root of 3 squared plus 2 squared. 3 squared is 9. 2 squared is 4. Taking the square root. 9 plus 4 is 13. We have to find the square root of 14. So by using your calculator, figure out the square root of 13. And that is 3.6 rounded. Now, let's see. So this length here is 3.6. Now let's find this side length. And do it the same way. How far up and how far over. So this is 3 and this is 5. And call this 2. Same process. So when you find the square root of 3 squared plus 5 squared. So 3 squared is 9 plus 5 squared is 25. So we're finding that square root. 9 plus 25 gives us 34. We have to find the square root of 34. So by using your calculator, calculate the square root of 34. And that rounded gives us 5.8 for our side length. Let's go over and mark it 5.8. So finding the area, you're going to add up all sides together. So we have 3.6, 6, 2, 3, 4, and 5.8. So you can go and type this in a calculator if you want, or you can do it by hand. Do 3.6 plus 6 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5.8. And that is going to give you 24.4 for our perimeter. Now we need to find the estimated area. So let's look here. We're going to count up our whole squares that we have. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So we have 20 full squares for our area. Now we need to piece together partial coloring here to make a full square. So this and this one look about the same. If you were to put them together, it would make a whole. So we're going to have one here. This is missing a little piece, and then that has a little piece. So there's another hole. Remember, it's still an estimation. This one here with that little piece there can make a hole. And then this one and this one seem about a hole. And then these two are left over. If we were to add these together, we'd have more than a hole. And then a partial one. So maybe we take out this much. We'll be left with this. So that's maybe a fourth, we could say. If you wanted to go that exact, but again, it's an estimation. So if you just ended with 1, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. So 20 plus 1, so 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and a 4 is going to be our estimation for our area of this figure. Let's go on to the next page. So we're going to find the perimeter. So let's do the sides that we can count. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This has 3, and this side has 3. So we have this one, to figure out, this side to figure out, and then this side is going to be the same length as this one here, so we won't have to do it twice. So this is 1 and 1. So then square root of 1 squared plus 1 squared. 1 squared is 1 plus 1. I'm finding the square root of that. 1 plus 1 gives us 2, so we're finding the square root of 2. The square root of 2, if you type that into your calculator, is rounded would be 1.4. So this length here is 1.4. Now let's find this length here. So it's a 2 by 2. So we do the square root of 2 squared plus 2 squared. So 2 squared is 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8. So we're going to find the square root of 8. So using your calculator, type in the square root of 8. And that rounded is 2.8. So this length here is 2.8. And this length here is also going to be 2.8. So now let's add it up. 4, 3, 3, 1.4, 2.8, and 2.8. Add this all together, what do you end up getting? Let's see. 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1.4 plus 2.8 plus 2.8, and that gives us 17. So our perimeter of this figure is 17. Now let's find the estimated area. So count your full squares. There's 4, 8, 12, 14. And then let's combine as many as we can. These two make a whole. These two make a whole. And then we're left over with a half right here. So plus a half. So our area is going to be 16 and a half here. And this is actual exact. We didn't have to estimate since this went from corner to corner of our squares to make whole squares. Let's look. See, do we have any other examples? No, that is all today.